A man who cannot win at sports suddenly decides to swap genders and compete as a female. He makes up a completely bogus and fake identity just to get ahead because he wants to be famous and be successful and have a whole batch of medals hanging around his neck. Am I talking about today? No, I'm talking about the Olympics in the year 3003 or so. Bender. On Futurama 2003, the episode Bend Her. I've done a couple of videos recently about Futurama as I binged the 5 classic seasons, and I have just completed the rest of the series in all the various places and incarnations. I have to go back and revisit this though because it's a perfect example of what had happened as Futurama got increasingly woke, as it got increasingly close to our present time on this calendar in this 21st century. But in season 5, the episode Bend Her, there's done and played up to great hilarity. It's 2003 that it aired, and to great hilarity, Bender wants to compete in the Olympics. Bender can't really win anything at the Olympics. He pretends to be a female robot. He becomes a fembot named Coilette. He invents a fake country to have a fake national identity, Rabonia, a fake national anthem, and the whole nine. And realizing after he's won all of these medals that they're actually going to gender fluid check his body and make sure they're going to do an actual gender check, a la what happened with some of the East German women competitors back in the height of the Cold War, a quick gender check to make sure that Bender is actually a female. So he has to go through a rapid sex change procedure led by the professor so that he will pass. And from then on, from one thing to another, he can't seem to give up his female identity. He ends up in a romantic relationship with Calculon, the actor from All My Circuits, of whom he's a huge fan, and we had seen them interact before. Now, not realizing that it's Bender as a female, Calculon is in love with Coilette, and each step of the way there seems to be some question whether Bender keeps claiming that it is a scam and he's going to be with him, but he's going to get something from it, even agrees to marry Calculon, says, no, I'm going to ditch him and take his money, the oldest trick in the book. But it isn't really clear because his change in gender has begun to affect his emotional and psychological outlook. They play up wonderfully all the various male-female stereotypes, especially given how chauvinistic the humor could be with Bender and with Fry. And again, in a comedic sense, I never thought it was really offensive. But they did a good job of putting the shoe on the other foot, making Bender into Coilette, a female, and letting the hilarity really ensue. But it really stood out to me re-binging it that you would never get away with that now today. And it's an example of the sort of things that I felt like later they were almost clearly trying to apologize for when they did the whole thing with Lucy Liu and Don't Have Sex with Robots. Then they followed this up many seasons later with robosexuality and robot human marriage and all of this, like, not remotely thinly veiled, had all the genius of some of your typical woke culture garbage. And so the later seasons, while they still had some great episodes come and go and some funny stuff in episodes, they also had some really cringeworthy woke episodes already. You can only imagine what Disney is going to do. But it is spectacular to go back and watch the old ones, and especially Bend Her, season 5, Bender becoming Coilette, and all of the, I mean, it is priceless humor, classic Futurama, vintage, when people were allowed to have a sense of humor, and weird crap was funny because it was weird crap, not being foisted upon you as some sort of normalcy. So go back and check it out if you haven't seen it. When Futurama was good, man, I wish we had more entertainment like that now. Futurama.